Hi, this is Derek. When you're watching this, the date should be October 31st, 2013, Halloween Day. This video should serve as the last in a series I'm doing, 31 Days of Horror, doing all these horror movie reviews. Hope you've enjoyed watching them, or if you're watching this video on its own, hope you enjoy watching this one. Anyway, one movie you can't avoid Halloween season. It's like the It's a Wonderful Life of the Halloween season. It's John Carpenter's Halloween. If you're familiar at all with my channel, of course, I have reviewed this movie before in a video I recorded like 3 years ago. I was wearing a stupid hat and had a goatee. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. But, like any great movie, it's worth revisiting, and there's no limit to what you can notice and have to say about the movie upon repeat viewings. So definitely I wanted to take another look at the movie and review it again, re-review it, I guess. Also kind of what I want to do, just really quickly at the top of this video is overview the Halloween collection that I have so far, that I've accumulated over the years. I talked about this one in the original video I did, the VHS tape. Got this probably in the 90s or so. This is the blind buy that set it all up, that introduced me to the Halloween movies. By today's standard, this is so primitive. Just a really bad, unremastered version. I popped it in earlier, and it has a certain charm to it, but it's almost unwatchable, really, so I don't know. Another version I have is also a VHS version. It's the extended television cut. It's a little ripped up here. I don't know what happened. But this is an interesting version. Oh, it's in widescreen. Look at that. If you don't know the story, it's pretty much this. When they aired Halloween, the original 78 version, on TV for the first time, this was 1981, around the same time Halloween 2 was being filmed. Because they cut out so much of the violence and nudity, they were opted to film some kind of filler scenes, basically, to justify a certain runtime. So instead of like the movie being like half hour long or whatever, it's about 10 minutes of new footage and stuff. Nothing spectacular, but an interesting watch, especially to watch it kind of blended into the movie. It's the same movie, but it's a kind of more interesting experience, like an alternate version. Nothing definitive, but just alternate, in case you haven't seen Halloween 800 million times. Another one I have, of course, is the DVD version. This is the pretty basic DVD version, not like the Laserdisc, which apparently was pretty good at the time. Had the commentary. This does not have a commentary. It has the what is it? The Halloween Unmasked 2000. So this is a DVD from 2000. For a while, this was pretty much the standard. Pretty much where any version of this movie you'd find this particular version. So not too much to say about that one. Definitely looks as good as possible on DVD, cleaned up in THX, and a huge step up from VHS for sure. Next version I have is the Blu-ray. Pretty basic Blu-ray. It carries over a lot of the other special features. This one has the commentary from the Laserdisc, which is a nice touch. The transfer is good. It's definitely a step up from Blu-ray, but nothing mind-bending. But this is a pretty reliable, I guess, version of the movie. Definitely a step up, like a synop conversion, so it's a step up from the DVD for sure. Good features, everything like that. Pretty good. You can find this anywhere between $5 and $10, so it's good to have in the collection, even if you have the DVD. Final one I have, of course, is a recent release, and that's the 35th anniversary Blu-ray Digibook, which is very cool. I love this artwork. It's so very cool. And I love digibooks and everything like that, and that's cool. And there's new special features. There's a new commentary, which I haven't listened to yet, so that should be interesting. They actually do have the television version scenes. They're presented separately. It would have been nice if they restored them, added them into an alternate version which you could view. That would have been nice. but fair enough. At least you have them for reference. You can watch them. And an all-new transfer. It was overviewed, supervised by the original director of photography, Dean Cundy. Very good transfer. Definitely better than the previous Blu-ray version, actually. The thing about the other version, they'll look good. It still looked kind of old. Colors were maybe a little muted. I mean, you're probably not going to notice a huge difference, but this is a very lively presentation of the movie. I was actually really impressed watching this. So, very well done. Very good Blu-ray presentation. I'm sure they'll come up with something for the 40th anniversary, but whatever. I couldn't resist. Come on, this is so cool. So there's that. But the movie itself, I mean, what is it about this movie that gets us coming back each and every year for Halloween to experience the terror again and again? How has this endured for decades now? I mean, any number of reasons you could come up with just how well this movie is made. Watching it again, you know, you kind of realize just how perfect it is just by the title alone. I mean, job's done by titling it Halloween, having it take place on Halloween. They could have went in any number of directions, such as they did with, say, Halloween 3. They made something a little different. Like, they could have made it about ghosts or satanic worship or something like that. But I do like the idea of they have made it into a serial killer movie, like a slasher movie. But there's something else going on. There's something supernatural going on. And on Halloween night, it's just this bizarre night of the year where everyone's dressed up. And someone like that, this demented person, this possibly potentially evil, otherworldly person, definitely a dangerous, not a guy you want to run into, basically. How he could just kind of slip through the cracks on just one night out of the year. And commit these ghastly murders, replicating the murder that he committed all those years ago when his sister was babysitting him, when he killed her when he was just a little kid, possessed by some kind of evil. That's an eerie thing to think of, just because it's not like the atmosphere of the movie is created like on its own kind of terms, like, ooh, it's a haunted house or something. No, I mean, it's just, it's Halloween. Everyone, you know, crazy shit happens on Halloween. And that's why, you know, that horrible, crucial scene at the end where you're just like, biting your teeth, and Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, the great Jamie Lee Curtis, she's running from the killer, screaming at the top of her lungs, that great scream of hers, screaming bloody murder. Everyone just kind of thinks, oh, it's a prank, whatever, some stupid fucking kid, who cares, you know? That's what's brilliant about the movie, and the danger that it creates in the particular day of all days. So really well done. And again, things I mentioned in my other reviews, but just the way it sets up the entire stories is very well done. You have two conflicting stories, well, two opposite stories that basically meet at the breaking point at the end. You have the determined psychologist in Dr. Loomis, played by Donald Pleasance, knowing that he's dealing with something that's out of this world. It's very dangerous, very evil, and his determination to stop Michael Myers. And you have the innocent Laurie Strode, just a babysitter, and her friends, and I think part of the reason why it works is because they contrast so well, those two different scenes. Like, they're very, very different atmospheres until they do kind of interlink. The Loomis scenes are so dramatic, so urgent, and very almost like over the top in a certain kind of way. But the scenes with Laurie Strode and her friends, and kind of like the babysitting, you know, just common stuff. It's all it feels very genuine, you know. Deborah Hill, of course, she produced the movie, but she also wrote the girl stuff in the movie. So it does kind of feel like, okay, yeah, this is just normal girl talk, you know, Billy's coming over, or whatever, I don't know. She can do it much better than I can, obviously. And the Carpenter written stuff, the very, very dramatic, bold, evil kind of stuff. So I thought those meshed well until they finally met at the end. Compare it to something like what Rob Zombie's version did with the remake, which one took away kind of the evil otherworldly elements and focused on Michael Myers as being this psychotic killer and trying to understand him. But the teen girl dialogue in that movie is fucking obnoxious. This movie, I mean, it's innocent, it's nice, and it creates an atmosphere where you almost want to feel safe, but you know in the back of your head that this killer is coming, and that's what kind of makes it all the better when the knife goes, basically. So, with all that in mind, the way that it executes its scary scenes is done in such a way that it's hard to match because of the simplicity of it, I think. It doesn't go for anything too complicated, but it's scary, and it's assisted by the great music by John Carpenter. And it really creates a tense atmosphere on this scary, scary night, Halloween. And I think it's just, an incredible movie. It almost goes beyond what you can really fairly describe, even in a review. Even say you're a huge fan of the movie, you'll love it, like I feel I am. It is almost hard to put into words how good the movie is, because in a lot of ways, a movie like this, a horror movie particularly, it will work on primal levels, on what scares you, and what's scarier than having someone trying to kill you. But it does it in a fair way. It does it in a kind of a realistic way, I guess. But what's scarier than a crazy killer, especially just the look that they got down from that creepy mask, just so well done. All the elements came into place for this movie. It's something of a miracle, really. So it's the kind of movie that you have to watch on Halloween, really. I mean, it's almost essential, even if you don't like. I feel so sorry for you if you don't like this movie, because they'll play it on like AMC like 500 times. So yeah, you gotta watch it, and I was really happy with the presentation on this Blu-ray. It's definitely set a new standard for presentation of the movie, and what progress has it made in the last few years in on-home video, like from that shitty VHS tape to this great Blu-ray. And the fact that it was such a low-budget movie, and the fact that it looks so professional, in Dean Cundy's cinematography, in the way John Carpenter executed his scenes, set up the camera, very, very particular kind of way, and memorable kind of way. Very memorable images from this movie, very memorable moments, and just key little details in the movie that make it all the more just frightening. Like, anybody can make a movie where a killer, jumps out or whatever, but the fact that, that one scene with PJ Souls where her boyfriend Bob, he's been killed in the kitchen, Michael Myers puts the sheet over his head. She thinks it's him. It's just an agonizing scene because, listen, lady, there's a killer under there. Just such a greatly made movie, and haunting images, really, and the images hold up as if this were a higher budget kind of movie. And with the presentation on this Blu-ray, on this brand new spiffy Blu-ray that they've assembled, you honestly wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the production value on this movie and something like else from that, like something from The Exorcist or The Omen. You can't really tell the difference. It just has a great production value to it, even though it's a very low budget movie. I mean, up until the Blair Witch Project or Paranormal Activity, it was the most successful independent film of all time, which is easy to forget because it's just such a staple with horror. And its sequels have been, so higher budgeted, like Halloween 2 with all the fucking explosions and all that shit. But you can't beat the one and the only in the classic, the Halloween. You just can't. So it's endured for all these years, and it will continue to do so long after Carpenter's gone, long after I'm gone. Generations and generations will come back to this movie. Rob Zombie version, probably not so much. Even though this movie is somewhat dated, it has the 70s fashion, sort of. It's not too over the top. I mean, it's not like something like, say, even like Carrie, which I reviewed this month too. It has kind of like the really, really bad 70s music to it. Those horrible 70s blue tuxedos for the prom. That was bad. This one not so much. You know, there's not too many key incorporations that are gonna make you think, yeah, that's from the 70s. So it's not too bad. So with that, I mean, this movie will just last forever. It's a timeless, scary tale, something that we're always going to come back to every Halloween, and for very good reason. It's one of the greats. It's a masterpiece. It's John Carpenter's Halloween, except no substitutes. So I thank you guys very much for sticking with me for all these reviews that I've been posting throughout the month. Hope you enjoyed watching them. Maybe I'll do it next year. Maybe I won't. It's been fun. So yeah. What else can I say except Halloween and happy Halloween and stay scared.